And so generating this increased human dependency that can be mined, because it's not subject to HIPAA. Is that correct, Dr. King?
Right, it's not subject to HIPAA.
It's not subject to HIPAA. So people's deepest fears, secrets, emotional content, relationships can all be mined for this empty promise that we're getting from these companies to turn a profit.
I hate AI slop as much as the next guy, but what AOC and More Perfect Union are exposing about the companies behind the technology should concern us all a hell of a lot more than Donald Trump posting AI videos of himself literally shitting on people. Because it's genuinely a matter of life and death.
I grew up here, and I wanted my kids to be able to do the same. And we welcome Meta, which opened a data center in our town.
We were behind an 18-wheeler once, and it backed up, and we almost got killed.
Right. We'll hear in just a moment about the very real cost AI companies like Meta are levying on the lives of everyday Americans, but it's important to first zoom out and take a look at the broader havoc these companies can wreak on the entire economy.
Just this morning, the Wall Street Journal reported a significant drop in the U.S. stock market with the headline, AI bubble fears hit stocks. Now, this also contrasts with what we've been hearing from the Trump administration, that the economy in general is thriving. And he's been saying that the economy is booming, but it's only 7 tech companies that are booming: Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta. And they're driving this growth in just one sector, AI.
Yeah, that's 7 companies in the same sector making up about 40% of the stock market growth. That is what many of us who remember the financial collapse of 2008 would call a fucking bubble.
So the entire US economy growth can be tracked down to 7 companies and their AI growth specifically. At least 40% of economic growth this year is attributed to these companies alone, and 80% of stock gains this year came from AI companies. But people are justifying these levels of investment because of the promises that the CEOs make that there will be a return on that investment. So for a company like OpenAI, their value is based on the expectation that they're going to figure out how to make a profit out of it. And they haven't.
But even if you're not invested in the market or just worried about your taxes going to bail out yet another multi-billion-dollar industry, the problems get more granular and personal as you zoom in.
And so generating this increased human dependency that can be mined, because it's not subject to HIPAA. Is that correct, Dr. King?
Right, it's not subject to HIPAA.
It's not subject to HIPAA. So people's deepest fears, secrets, emotional content, relationships can all be mined for this empty promise that we're getting from these companies to turn a profit.
Yeah, think about that for a second. Even if you're not, lots of people are using these tools, whether it's for work, for fun, for therapy, or companionship, which is weird as hell but very real. They are sharing tons of personal, hell, potentially even health and financial data with these already massive companies. Companies that we've already seen have no problem weaponizing our own data against us. I mean, hell, they're already using the data centers themselves to harm and destroy human lives, and Meta here is just one example. Here's the full 30-second ad spot for this data center they are displacing families to build, and then we'll share the stark contrast of the actual reality.
I grew up in Altoona, and I wanted my kids to be able to do the same. So when work started to slow down, we searched for new opportunities, and we welcome Meta, which opened a data center in our town. Now we're bringing jobs here, for us and for our next generation.
We went to Holly Ridge, Louisiana, where Meta's new Manhattan-sized data center is being built. Meta's new ads claim these communities welcome data centers, but residents painted a very different picture.
We had no voting on it, no community meetings, no nothing. It was done all under the table, and when it was said and done, there was nothing nobody could do.
You're planning to leave?
I've been here 81 years. I can't stay here with nobody I can talk to.
My mom has been out here all her life, 82 years. She's really not happy about it, but does want to leave too.
Do you think they care about the people that live here?
No, I sure don't.
Residents emphasized the increased traffic violence from Meta's trucks. I dug through police reports and found a 600% increase in vehicle crashes on the roads surrounding Meta's construction site in the last 9 months.
The playground at the front of the school, they're not letting y'all play on that, right?
No. Meta trucks don't watch out. If they try to stop, they will they wrecked into the gate, and that's why they're saying we shouldn't go out there and all that, because there's too many wrecks and Meta trucks, and they could crash. I really love that playground.
Do you wish you could play there?
Yes.
Residents also shared their distrust in the quality of their water and the lack of support from elected officials to address it.
My neighbor was washing my clothes and messed up a whole load of whites because it come out stained from that brown water.
Do you feel like it's safe to drink?
No, I buy water.
Have you heard anything about them addressing that? Have they?
No.
Have you gotten any information about the project at all from anybody?
None at all, except on the internet and on my Facebook.
How does this change what it's like to live here?
Just totally different. I mean, who wants to live like this? You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call that living at that point. And not to kick them while they're down, but I wonder how many of those people voted for Trump, who himself is cozying up to those same companies and accepting billions in investments that might as well be bribes of fealty. And as AOC brilliantly closes out here, that meeting is specifically to save their asses when the inevitable bubble pops. And frankly, here at US Democratic Socialists, there is nothing that pisses us off more than watching real people suffer while billion-dollar corporations get socialist bailouts after their unfettered greed fueled by hyper-capitalism bursts another bubble they caused.
And the reason I bring all of this up is because the exposure of this industry and this investment, I fear, has reached broad levels, potentially, of the American economy. When we're talking about 40% of stock growth in the United States being attributed to these companies in the AI sector alone, and that sector has not turned a profit, we're talking about a massive economic bubble. And when we've seen, depending on the exposure of that bubble, we could see 2008-style threats to economic stability. And that pressure is reflected on the extreme lengths that these companies are going to allow unethical human interactions with these chatbots. I say this because I want to say also on the record that should this bubble pop, and I say this for my colleagues here, should this bubble pop, my colleague from Massachusetts mentioned the level of AI lobbying that occurs here in Congress. Should this bubble pop, we should not be entertaining a bailout. We should not entertain a bailout of these corporations as healthcare is being denied to everyday Americans, as SNAP and food assistance is being denied to everyday Americans, precipitating some of the very mental crises that people are turning to AI chatbots to try to resolve in themselves.
Too fucking true. The bullshit corporate bailouts need to stop, especially for these companies that are destroying our lives and the planet in the process. And if you agree and actually want to see change, get the money out of politics and fight the oligarchy that's driving this country towards collapse, then be sure to like this video and subscribe to USDS and Really American. For both, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you all in the next one.